A very warm welcome everyone. I hope you all are doing good. So in our previous class, we had discussed arguments and viewpoints, right? And I tried to explain one of the passages which had questions which were based on facts, right? So as I've always done in my previous lectures also, कि हर एक class के बाद I have solved previous year questions with you, जहाँ पे उस topic से related questions होते हैं. Right? This we all have been doing, and carrying forward the tradition, we will be solving a few more questions related to facts, right? Questions which are based on facts, right? So let's just begin. And these are all the previous year questions, but before starting, let's just talk about what are arguments, right? And how did we talk about arguments and how to find out the arguments and how are they relevant for us. So this will be a quick summary of what we did in the previous lecture. So what are arguments? Arguments are always seen in the author's lines, right? And what are arguments? Everything which is except the facts, right? And examples, right? That will be the central argument, right? Central argument, and all the facts and examples, they will be used to strengthen, right, the argument or to reinforce the argument, right? That is what the main thing that we need to understand here is कि examples और facts किस लिए use होते हैं हमारे argument को और strong बनाने के लिए, right? What kind of facts can be there? Facts can be of empirical type. Empirical data can be used. Empirical means numerical data can be used. Apart from that, we can have a few findings from some good resources which we can take as our facts, right? This we had already done. Apart from this, there are arguments. So in one passage, एक से ज़्यादा भी arguments हो सकते हैं. So you need to have a clear vision as to what all arguments are there. आपको बिल्कुल clearly समझ आना चाहिए कि कौन-कौन से arguments हैं हमारे पास और कैसे हमें arguments present किए गए हैं, right? I hope this is clear to everyone. I hope this much is what we all can do, right? So with this, we'll move ahead, and this was a quick summary of what arguments are and how to find out arguments, right? Now, let's just talk about the first passage, right? अब हम एक-एक करके passages solve करने शुरू कर रहे हैं, and we'll be solving all the answers. So public speaking is a powerful real life skill. Over the centuries, impressive speeches made by the people from various walks of life have helped to change hearts, minds and shape the world as we see it today. ठीक है, अब हमें एक चीज समझ आई कि फर्स्ट लाइन में बहुत क्लियरली उसने हमें बता दिया कि हम किस चीज के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं. कहीं ना कहीं we'll be talking about how public speaking is important, right? And how it has changed people. So after the speeches that were delivered with intense emotions and conviction can infuse compassion and forgiveness, elevate levels of hatred and destruction, break or unite nations, right? On October 5, 1877, in the mountains of Montana Territory, when Chief Joseph surrendered to General Nelson A. Miles, the former gave a surrender speech. The speech included these words: "It is cold and we have no blankets. The little children are freezing to death. I want time to look for my children and see how many of them I can find. Maybe I shall find them among the dead. Hear the heart's wrenching. So hear me, my chief. I am tired. My heart is sick and sad. From where the sun now stands, I will fight no more forever." Right? The heart-wrenching speech bared the grief and misery of the speaker and those subjected to overwhelming hardships. Right? During World War II, the speech "We shall fight on the beaches" delivered by Winston Churchill on June 4, 1940 is considered a high-powered speech that strengthened the determination of those present in the House of Commons. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे दो speeches का reference दिया. First one was wherein the misery and grief was represented, and the other one is for those wherein determination of those who were present in the House of Commons was displayed. Right? In this speech he said, who is he here? He is Winston Churchill. About him we are talking. Even though large tracts of Europe and many old and famous states have fallen or may fall into the grip of Gestapo and all the odious apparatus of Nazi rule, we shall not flag or grow in confidence or fail. We shall go on the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, and we shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. In 1950, William Faulkner was honored with Nobel Prize for this significant contribution to the American novel. Right? Now, this was a time when Soviet Union had found the possible implication of the use of the atomic bomb, and people had begun to live in the fear of annihilation. Right? Now, in this Nobel Prize accepting speech, Faulkner urged writers of various genres to think and write beyond the fear of destruction and instead write materials that would fit the human spirit. The powerful message included, I believe that man will not merely endure, he will prevail. He is immortal, not because he alone among creatures has an inexhaustible voice, but because he has a soul, a spirit capable of compassion and sacrifice and endurance. The poet's, the writer's duty is to write about these things. It is his privilege to help man endure by lifting his heart, by reminding him of the courage and honor and hope and pride and compassion and pity and sacrifice which have been the glories of his past. The poet's voice need not merely be the record of a man, it can be one of the props, the pillars to help him endure and prevail. Undoubtedly, effective speeches have a long-lasting impact on the minds of the listeners, and they alleviate the levels of awareness or action the speaker intends to raise or catalyze. So see how he has given example of 3 speeches which had had a powerful impact on the people, right? And how the speeches have suited the situation of that time. Right? So इसलिए यहाँ पे public speaking was a theme and speeches, how speeches affect the people or the situations was the main idea here. And that was the main argument of the author कि speeches हमारे लिए बहुत important होती है और public speaking is very important, right? And in order to suit his purpose, he had used 3 examples which have made it very clear to us how speeches were so important. Right? How speeches have proved to be weapons of change, how they have helped people to understand various things. Right? Now, the main idea of the passage is that, alright, I'll just give you the questions. You can go through the passage once again. I'll leave it for you guys to read once. Right? I'm giving you 2 minutes. Please pause your video and please see. Alright, as you all might have already read this page, now this is the next page. Please take a screenshot if you would want to. Please go through it once. Alright, now let us come to the questions. First question is the main idea of the passage is that. Now here we have already discussed what a main idea is. Right? So main idea, let's see. All leaders should be accomplished public speakers. See, कहीं पे ये नहीं कहा all leaders. All क्या होता है? एक extreme word होता है. तो हम कभी भी extreme answer तब तक नहीं देते जब तक हमारे पास उसके लिए कोई relevant facts ना हो. And in this passage we don't have any such fact जो हमारे इस point को support कर रहा है. Hence, this will not be the main idea. Then, an impactful speech can convey a strong message to the listeners. Right? इसको हम साइड के लिए रख देते हैं because हाँ इससे रिलेटेड बात हमने कहीं ना कहीं पैसेज में करी है. A speech should sound pleasing to the ears of the listeners. It is not always the case. And कहीं पे भी हमने पूरे पैसेज में ये नहीं पढ़ा कि जो speech है वो बहुत pleasing होनी चाहिए. Right? A speech about how people have been living in dearth in the situation which is not common to human beings. That will never be pleasant to the ears, right? But SACP speech के बारे में बात करिए, hence this won't be the correct answer. Public speakers should be bold and argumentative. इस बारे में तो कहीं भी नहीं करी because this basically talks about the characteristics of public speakers. Rather, the main idea here is to explain the effect of speeches on the people. right? Or effect of speeches otherwise. So what is the only option left with us? The only option left with us is that an impactful speech can convey strong message to the listeners, right? और इसी के लिए हमें 3 examples already given हैं, right? Now, the tone of the surrender speeches. चलो, surrender speech के बारे में हमने कहाँ पे बात करनी है? See, are we talking about the surrender speech here? I don't think so. Or are we? कहाँ दिया हुआ है surrender speech के बारे में? See, here? No, it was given here only. Surrender speech. ठीक है, तो surrender speech में here we have talked about how the person who surrendered actually gave a speech to the public and he explained the poor condition, grief and misery of the people has been reflected in a speech, right? चलो, so what has been reflected here? तो अब एक चीज समझो, what is satiric, what is optimistic, what is poignant and what is narcissistic. This is something that you need to understand. तो अब हमने अभी तक tones का chapter नहीं करा. We haven't studied the tones, right? तो हमें यहाँ पे या तो ये words के meanings आते हो, right? जिससे हम समझ कर लें कि कौन से positive words हैं और कौन से negative words हैं, right? So यहाँ पे we all know that optimistic is positive, right? Satirical is again a neutral tone, more towards the negative side, right? Poignant, on the other hand, means sad and sorrowful, right? And narcissistic, what is the meaning of narcissistic? Who will tell me? What is narcissistic tone? What is the meaning of narcissistic? Narcissistic basically means wherein a person is more concerned about his own importance, where the person is more concerned and is writing about his own importance in life, right? And his exaggeration towards his self-importance is what narcissistic tone talks about. Also, it talks about lack of sympathy, lack of empathy. That is the type of narcissistic tone. And here we are clear that we are not being narcissistic towards anyone, right? Hence, the only option that is left with us is sad, which is poignant, right? And also a clear word has been given here, which is grief, right? So grief and misery, right? That is what the speech represented. Hence, the entire tone of the speech will be poignant, right? I hope that is clear to everyone. Now, we will be moving ahead to the next question. So, the option number C is the correct answer here. Then, is it evidence that through his speech, Churchill wished to his countrymen inform about the challenges that raise in the war-torn country, warn against the futility of war, remind how their endeavors to fight against the Nazi rule had failed miserably, and reassure that they would combat fearlessly against their enemies under all circumstances. Let's just go to the Nazi speech. See, here they have talked about it, right? Here they have talked about it, right? So see, where have they written about the Nazi rule? Where is its speech? Where is Winston Churchill's speech talked about? It is talked about in the above paragraph, right? See. So even though here, right? These are the words. Read through the words and tell me what should be the answer. Read through the words, come on. Be quick. Okay. ठीक है. So अब एक बारी पढ़ते हैं. Let's just see. So we shall go on the end, right? We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and the oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight for the beaches. We shall fight for the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. Right? So यहाँ पे हमें एक चीज समझ आ रही है कि it is giving strength to the other person. It is giving reassurance to the other person. right? So all the people who are listening to this speech are reassured that okay, we will fight back, we will be bouncing back, right? So let's just see what are the options here. So Churchill wished to his countrymen what? Inform about the challenges that arise in a war-torn country? No, we are not talking about that, right? So information तो वो जरूर नहीं दे रहा है. Warned against the futility of war? No, ये भी नहीं, warning भी कोई नहीं दे रहा है. Here we are left with two options. One is remind and the second is reassure. So यहाँ पे remind how their endeavors to fight against the Nazi rule had failed miserably. इसके बारे में भी नहीं बात कर रहा है वो, because he is not counting the failures, rather he is giving them strength that okay, we will be fighting back. Hence the answer is reassured that they would combat fearlessly against the enemies under all circumstances. Right? I hope that is clear. Here was one word for you guys which you will be writing down the meaning of, and the word is annihilation. Right? And the word is here. You have to tell me the meaning of this word, annihilation. Right? You have to tell me, you have to write down in the comment section the meaning of this word. Right? Now, let's just move ahead to the next question. Which of the following is the least likely to be used to describe Churchill? अब क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है इनमें से कौन सा वर्ड है जो सबसे कम डिस्क्राइब करता है चर्चिल को, राइट? सो ही इज रेजोल्यूट, ही इज अनडॉन्टेड, ही इज कॉम्प्लेसेंट और ही इज अनवेवरिंग. थिंक अबाउट इट. व्हाट आर द मीनिंग्स ऑफ दीज वर्ड्स? यू हैव टू टेल मी. ओके, सो लेट्स जस्ट सी. So what is the meaning of resolute here? Resolute का meaning क्या होता है? Anybody who can tell me in the comment sections what is the meaning of resolute? It is, what is the meaning of resolute? Resolute is somebody who is very determined, right? So he is determined, right? So somebody who is determined is resolute. What is the meaning of undaunted? Daunted का क्या meaning होता है? I guess everybody will know the meaning of daunted. What is the meaning of daunted? Undaunted means somebody who can never be intimidated, right? So undaunted is somebody who is not intimidated, right? Intimidated का क्या मतलब होता है? जिसको दबाया नहीं जा सकता, right? Who is not afraid, right? What is the meaning of complacent? Complacent is somebody who is complacent is somebody who is self-satisfied, right? And believes that his actions are fine enough, right? Satisfactory actions, right? Last word which is left with us is unwavering. What is the meaning of unwavering? Somebody who is not wavering. What does not wavering mean? It means somebody who is resolute, right? And resolute का meaning हमें already पता है, which is determined, right? तो अब ये दो meanings तो same हो गए, so दो meanings तो answer हो नहीं सकते हमारे, right? We are left with two options. One is undaunted. But जब हम चर्चिल के बारे में पढ़ रहे थे, चर्चिल in his speech has clearly said that we will fight back. So अगर वो ये कह रहा है we will fight back, so it is very clear that he is unintimidated, right? He is unintimidated. But question पूछ रहा है कौन सा वो नहीं है. So he is not complacent, which is he is not self-satisfied. Why? Because उसने कहा कि we will fight back, right? We will be fighting back, and he is very sure that he will be doing so. So here the only option left with us is complacent, and that would be the right answer, right? So now next question. I hope this is clear to everyone. This is a vocabulary based question. Now what is this? This is figurative language. This is a figurative language based questions, right? So now this is one of the examples of figurative language based questions. So the poet's voice needs not merely to be record of man, it can be one of the props, the pillars to help him endure and prevail. Faulkner has used to convey the power of poets' writing. So what is it here? A metaphor, a simile, an onomatopoeia, or a transferred epithet? What is it? Think about it. Now for all the students who don't know the meanings of all these words or who don't know what it is, you'll have to think about it, right? See, यहाँ पे I'll tell you the answer. We'll be going through all the figurative language. I will be taking one whole class on figurative language wherein we will be understanding all these things. Today I'll just explain you the answer, which is a metaphor. Now what is a metaphor? Can you see the words here like props and pillars? So what are we doing here? We are comparing poet's voice to props and pillars. Right? So जहाँ पे comparison होता है without using like or as, वो बन जाता है metaphor. I hope it is clear. जहाँ पे भी दो unlike चीजों के बीच में comparison हो रहा है without using like or as, that becomes a metaphor. Right? I hope that is clear to everyone. Now most of the students will tell me, ma'am आप please हमें ये सारे भी समझा दो. This I will be taking such type of questions in a separate class wherein I will be explaining all the figurative language topics to you guys, right? And I will be taking questions relating to them, right? Chalo, let's just move ahead now. So I hope the first paragraph is clear to everyone. It was way too easy. Now let's just come to the next paragraph. Here, also one homework for you guys, you have to tell me the meaning of annihilation, right? You have to type it down in the chat box. Now, as a 6-year-old child beggar, Sarao slept off in a stationary train in Khandwa, Madhya Pradesh. However, when he woke up, he found himself in an empty compartment of a train thundering towards Kolkata, where he spent a couple of weeks in a state of panic and hopelessness. Finally, he ended up in a local government adoption center from where he was adopted by an Australian couple. 25 years later, Saru left the urge to trace his biological mother and see in what state she lived. Relentlessly, he used Google's satellite feature to map the parts of the country that could have possibly been his own hometown. The search was a long and arduous one. Nevertheless, the perseverance did pay. Perseverance means he kept on moving ahead, right? He kept on moving ahead, and he was strong-headed that he has to go and find his mother, right? Now, so one eventful day, he met his mother. Thereafter, he continued to keep in touch with her. If technology can unite people with their loved ones, it can also make them distant. Right? So the unlimited variety of applications available to toddlers, teenagers and adults might have revolutionized their lives for the better, but these very apps, again, but क्या होता है? I have explained in my previous class. What is but? It tells you that from here the argument is going to change, right? But these very apps have snatched away the joys of long nature walks. They have encroached upon the time and space that people earlier used for physical interactions, right? They have drilled deep chasm of loneliness in the lives of countless number of people, right? Simple pleasures of life, including visiting friends and relatives, playing matches in open spaces, interacting with people in the market, public libraries and clubs. However, now again, what is however? Again, something different, something contradictory is being spoken here, right? With the escalating rage of using apps like those for social media, playing virtual games and home delivery services, these joyous moments are fading into oblivion, and the pall of loneliness, right, is getting heavier day by day, right? Where we are heading to? Are we going to allow ourselves to be swarmed by our apps, right? Are we going to allow social media to engulf us in a deluge of loneliness and isolation? Are we going to drive ourselves to a situation that will ultimately demand mental and physical therapies to regain normalcy? Do we not know that physical interaction is an essential for mental health, and food and water is for physical health? Now, earlier, social isolation was mostly experienced by some of the elderly people. So here we are talking about the old times, where social isolation was related to elderly people who were devoid of any occupation and bereft of company of their loved ones, right? Unfortunately today, an unhealthy solitude prevails among numerous children, teenagers, and adults too. Subsequently, there is an alarming increase in the demand for mental health therapy practitioners. The necessity of engaging psychologists in schools and colleges is evidently on rise. The psychologists are required to identify and address the learning and behavioral needs of the students who approach them for guidance. Moreover, if required, the professionals are expected to help them in strengthening their emotional, social, and academic skills. Regardless how alarming the situation might be, it is never too late. If people revert to the earlier trend of shopping offline, going for nature walks, playing outdoor games, and catching up with friends in their homes or cafes more frequently, they can keep their heads firmly well above the ocean of loneliness. Right? So now this is a very familiar topic. Why? Because mental health has been an issue of the day. Right? It has been an issue of the hour. Right? Everybody is talking about it here and there. Right? So here, mental health and how isolation creeps into the human life is being talked about, and how does technology play a crucial role in doing so has been talked about in the entire passage. In the end, they have given us a few measures, I may say, or they have given us some simple tricks which can be used, simple tips which can be used in order to avoid isolation and in order to avoid any sort of mental illness, right? Now, from the passage, it is evident that Saru's desire to find his mother ended up being a distant dream, inspired him to Google satellites feature intermittently, wanted as time went by, did not slacken till he succeed. Slacken means it did not weaken, right? Or it did not fade away. Right, so what will be the answer? The answer is way too clear. What will be the answer? See the question and tell me the answer. What will be the answer? It is that it did not slacken away till he succeeded. Right? Next, in the sentence, these very apps have snatched away the joys of long nature walks. The author has satirized nature. We are not satiring nature. Has metaphorized apps, personified apps, and none of the above. Now, what is metaphor? We have just done. What is metaphorizing? Metaphorizing means comparing two unlike things. Personified means wherein you are giving the living attributes to unliving things, unliving or non-living things, right? To non-living things. So here you need to tell me what should be the answer. Okay, so what will be the answer here? See, here these very apps have snatched away. Who snatches away? A real life human or something which is alive will snatch away things, will have the power to snatch away things. So here apps have been compared. Here apps have been given attribute of a physical or a living being. Right? So जब भी हम किसी non-living thing को, why am I saying unliving again and again today? I'm really sorry for that. जब भी हम किसी non-living thing को एक living thing की तरह मानते हैं, उसको हम बोलते हैं personification. And hence we have personified apps here in this sentence, right? I hope that is clear. Now, from the passage, one can conclude that. अब question क्या है? Conclusion पे based है. It is impossible for people to reduce the urge of apps. Impossible word क्या होता है? Extreme होता है. And nowhere in the passage has it been written कि भाई नहीं हमें apps छोड़ ही नहीं सकते. It is impossible for us to do that. We have never said that, right? There is a direct correlation between loneliness and excessive use of social media apps. Okay, we'll keep it for later on. Now, the usage of technology is an essential for mental health as food and water is for physical health. इतना भी कुछ नहीं कहा कि हम बिना इसके we won't be able to survive, right? All senior citizens are lonely because they are not tech savvy. अब ये भी एक extreme फैक्ट हो गया, दिस ऑल्सो कैन नॉट बी द करेक्ट आंसर. वी आर लेफ्ट विथ टू ऑप्शंस, बी और सी. What according to you guys should be the correct answer? The correct answer is already given in the passage. There is a direct correlation between loneliness and excessive use of social media. Hence, B will be the correct answer. So, B is the correct answer here. Right? Now, moving ahead from the passage, it can be inferred that presently in many educational institutions. What is the meaning of inference? Inference हमने अभी तक नहीं किया है. So now you need to remember कि एक चीज मैं आपको हिंट दे रही हूँ यहाँ पे, इन्फ्रेंस कभी भी आपके पैसेज में डायरेक्टली गिवन नहीं होता है. इन्फ्रेंस एक तरह का कंक्लूजन और एक डिडक्शन होता है जो आप खुद डिड्यूस करते हो वंस यू रीड द पैसेज. ठीक है. सो द नंबर ऑफ टीचर्स हु पास द buck to psychologist is on rise. Special emphasis is being laid on the mental and emotional health of the students. All the usage of educational apps is being discouraged significantly. All the students feel the need to be counseled by psychologists. अब इनमें से कौन सी चीज है जो हमें as a fact नहीं दी हुई पैसेज में? You just have to tell me that. चलो, सो यहाँ पे हमें एक चीज जो हमें समझ आई है आफ्टर रीडिंग द पैसेज कि हमने बात करी है कि बहुत सारे साइकोलॉजिस्ट और काउंसलर्स को हायर किया गया है इवन इन द स्कूल्स, जहाँ पे वो स्टूडेंट्स को काउंसिल करते हैं एंड उनकी हेल्प करते हैं. राइट, दिस वी रेड इन द पैसेज. सो द नंबर ऑफ टीचर्स हु पास द buck to the psychologist is on rise, इस बारे में हमने कहीं बात नहीं देखी पूरे पैसेज में. स्पेशल एम्फेसिस इज लेड ऑन द मेंटल एंड द इमोशनल हेल्थ ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स, इसके बारे में तो जरूर बात हुई है. The usage of educational apps, इस चीज के बारे में हमने स्पेसिफिकली कहीं बात नहीं करी है. Right? All the students feel the need to be counseled by psychologist. All the students, again एक extremity हो गई, ये भी हमारा आंसर नहीं हो सकता. So the only answer that we are left with is B. Right? In the concluding paragraph of the given passage, the writer's tone can be best described as what? Laudatory का मतलब होता है जहां पे आप किसी को अपलॉड कर रहे हो, किसी की तारीफ कर रहे हो. अपलॉडिंग, दैट इज व्हाट laudatory means. Apologetic means when you are sorry or when you are remorseful. Right? Despairing का मतलब होता है when you are disconnected or when you are sad about something. Right? That is what despairing means. Right? So now the only answer which can be used here or which is correct here is optimistic. Optimistic means when you are positive about a bright future or outcome. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे एंड में उसने कहा कि if we follow these steps we won't fall into the trap of mental illness and hence the answer will be A, which is optimistic. Right? I hope that is clear. Now, moving ahead, we will start with this. Wash, 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 wash your hands. That has been the safety mantra ever since the pandemic COVID-19 began swamping the world. Undoubtedly, washing hands has proven to be the best way to keep germs at bay. Unfortunately, the medical practitioners who first promoted the importance of this simple activity has subjected to intense humiliation and ultimately declared insane. Ignaz Semmelweis was a Hungarian doctor. In 1847, an obstetrician, he was disturbed that post-delivery, almost every third woman died of unexpected malady. Right? So he observed that as a part of the set routine, medical students and doctors would examine and study the corpses in the mortuary. Corpses are the dead bodies in the mortuary, the place where dead bodies are kept, and then come for rounds to the maternity wards. Here, without washing their hands, they would examine expectant mothers, like pregnant mothers, right? So, after making numerous hypotheses and observations, he was convinced that when doctors wash their hands before examining the women in the ward, the number of deaths due to serious infections declined. कि जब हाथ धोने शुरू करे, तो जो deaths है, right, serious infections है, sorry, वो decline हो गए. He shared his observation with his colleagues and many other working in the field of medicine, but unfortunately he could not provide any concrete evidence to his theory. Sadly, due to the vehement criticism that he received, he went into depression. Furthermore, Ignaz tried to prove his point so relentlessly that it led to the belief that he had lost his mind. In 1865, a doctor deceptively का मतलब using deception और fraudulently lured him means उसको इतना ज़्यादा उन्होंने force कर दिया to an asylum for his insane, and 2 weeks of the brutal treatment he was meted out to him by the attendants led him to his untimely death. About 20 years later, when the world became more receptive to the works of scientists like Louis Pasteur and Joseph Lister, awareness regarding germs that cause disease began to spread. Right? This is the time when Ignaz was honored with the title like father of hand hygiene and savior of mothers, an honor much too late, because it was after his death that his findings were actually taken into consideration and were actually regarded. Right? Now, some of the most celebrated artists we have earned fame much after their death. It is tragic that Vincent van Gogh inspiring work was labeled as strange and amateur by most of the critiques of his time. It is believed that he sold only 1 or 2 paintings in his lifetime, and that too for a meager amount. Right? So today, even single paintings of Vincent van Gogh paintings is worth millions of dollars. Franz Kafka was a proficient writer, but when he published a few pieces of his writings, he received immense criticism. Right? Before his death in 1924, he handed over his unpublished novels and short stories to his friend Max Brod and urged him to destroy them. However, Brod got the manuscripts published. Today, Franz is acclaimed as one of the major fiction writers of the 20th century. The novel titled The Trial published in 1925. The Castle, published in 1926, are considered 2 of his masterpieces. Perhaps if humans were more tolerant and amenable to change, innovative concept, theories and creations, the deserving would live to experience the glory and the honor they rightfully deserved. So यहाँ पे in the end, perhaps के बाद, perhaps itself is a word which helps us in telling that here we start with the conclusion, like thus and so. राइट सो यहाँ पे हमारे पास यहाँ से कंक्लूजन शुरू हुआ, जहाँ पे द मेन आइडिया और द मेन थिंग दैट वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट कि अगर लोग थोड़े और एक्सेप्टिंग होते और इनोवेटिव होते और थ्योरीज को समझ पाते, सो द पीपल हु वर एक्चुअली डिजर्विंग, उनको उस टाइम पे ही ग्लोरी और उनका क्लेम मिल चुका होता व्हेन दे वर लिविंग. राइट? सो नाउ व्हाट इज द मेन आइडिया हियर? लेट्स जस्ट सी. All theories, all original theories and works should receive unreserved acceptance. Right? Second, many undeserving innovators have been honored after their demise. तो ये तो fact है ना? How can this be the main idea? This is a fact. ठीक है? Creativity must never be inhibited. Right? इसके बारे में तो हमने creativity के बारे में कहीं बात नहीं करी. यहाँ पे word all आ गया तो ये क्या हो गया? Extreme हो गया. Right? जो कहीं पे भी written नहीं है. ठीक है कि सारी theories को ही हम लोग recognize करेंगे तो कहीं नहीं कहा. So the only answer left is numerous innovators have found recognition and appreciation of their work posthumously, which means after their death. Right? Now, from the passage, it is evident that Dr. Ignaz's theory was rejected because he could not substantiate it. The doctors did not want him to regulate their work ethics. He had been declared insane because Joseph Lister and Louis Pasteur had already discovered germs. देखो last वाला fact तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं हो सकता. राइट? लास्ट वाला फैक्ट क्यों नहीं हो सकता? क्योंकि वो बाद में आए थे. राइट? ही हैड बीन डिक्लेयर्ड इनसेन, वो भी बाद में हुआ. द डॉक्टर्स डिड नॉट वांट हिम टू रेगुलेट देयर एथिक्स. इसके बारे में तो हमने कहीं बात नहीं करी. सो द ओनली आंसर लेफ्ट इज ही कुड नॉट सब्सटैंशिएट इट बिकॉज ही कुडंट प्रूव व्हाट ही सेड. राइट? नाउ फ्रॉम द पैसेज वन कैन कंक्लूड दैट द आर्ट क्रिटिक्स ऑफ हु वैन गॉग वर्क्स वर अपलॉडेड, राइट, censored and hypercritical, denounced and tolerant, and acclaimed and rigid. What will be the answer? The answer is, अब यहाँ पे हम बात कर रहे हैं कि जो वैन गॉग के जो क्रिटिक्स थे उन्होंने क्या करा था, उसे क्या किया था? अपलॉड तो वो करेंगे नहीं, अक्लेम भी वो नहीं करेंगे, डिनाउंस करा और दे वर टॉलरेंट. हाउ कैन somebody who denounces be tolerant? Somebody who denounces someone can never be tolerant, right? So the answer is they censored him and they were hypercritical about his work, right? They were hypercritical about his work. That is why the answer will be B. Now, from the passage it can be inferred that, फिर से inference based question आ गया, that was the opinion that France had not reached out to the critics, right? Decried France's writing, considered it unsacred to destroy any manuscript, and lastly appreciated and valued France's works. So what will it be? Try to tell me the answer. What will it be? See, so here हमने एक चीज समझ आई कि मैक्स ब्रॉड जो था उसने क्या करा था, उसने फ्रांस के काम को अपने पास रखा था because he believed that his work is good and can be published, right? Was of the opinion that France has not reached out to the right critics. ऐसा तो कभी नहीं हुआ. Decried France's writings, उसने कभी भी उसकी writings को गलत नहीं कहा. Considered is that it as unsacred. Unsacred की बात की वो प्योर नहीं है, pious नहीं है, ये तो नहीं हुई कहीं पे भी, कोई फैक्ट नहीं है इसको प्रूव करने के लिए. Appreciated and valued France's works, तभी उसने उसकी जो writings थी उसको अपने पास रखा, उनको बाद में publish करवाया. Hence the answer will be D. Now, the word relentlessly in the passage will be best replaced by the word. What will be the answer? It will be unbaitedly. Unbaitedly. Right? I hope that is clear to everyone. Unbaitedly will be the correct answer. Now your homework is you will tell me the meaning of all these words. Right? You will be telling me the meaning of all these words. Right? So there was one or two more passages, right, which we will solve later on. Right? We won't be solving all this in today's class. Today's class was all about this, right? If you guys have any doubts, you can write down in the comment section below. And I hope the question solving is clear to everyone and the concepts are also clear to everyone. So with this, I'll end the class here and I shall see you guys in the next class. Right? Thank you so much.